Today we're going to take a look at some of my favorite websites for free images, sounds, music, all the different elements that you need to make your holiday projections. All of the links to these websites will be in the description below, so let's get started. Now, the very first websites I want to show you are pattern generators, and this is doodad.dev. It has a really long URL, but again, don't worry about it. All the links are in the description below. So why do you need a pattern generator? Well, if you just want to make a simple candy cane pattern, believe it or not, people want to sell those to you, but they're really easy to generate on a pattern generator website. And so let's go ahead and do some of these patterns and see how they look. This is not looking very Christmassy or Halloween or anything right now, but let's fix that by changing some of the colors. So I'll set the background color red. I'll set this foreground color here to a nice green, maybe a little bit lighter green. Close that down, and let's set the secondary color here to white. And close that, and so we're a little bit more Christmassy, but let's adjust the patterns. And there's a variety of different patterns that you can pick over here. And by the way, these patterns are adjustable. We can use these little sliders down here in order to adjust the patterns and make them unique to however we want them to look. So you can really customize these any way that you like. You can increase the size. You can rotate them. So right now we're about 45-degree angle here. We can make them straight this way or straight horizontally, whatever we want to do. And then once you get the pattern fixed up just like you like it, you can go ahead and you can download it in PNG or JPEG format. It's also available in SVG format, which is kind of like basically it's a picture format that's basically a drawing. The drawing's made up of like simple shapes like squares and circles and lines. And the beauty of SVGs is that you can scale them from postage stamp all the way up to billboard size, and they will never look jaggedy or lose any resolution. However, you cannot put a SVG typically into your video editor, so you're mostly going to want to download these as PNG or JPEG files. Besides these stripes here, they also have curls of various sorts. They also have some dots over here, and we got some holes. And also we have these cool kind of quilted patterns. So you can do some really cool stuff very quickly here and generate your own patterns in whatever style that you like. And they make great backgrounds for your videos and little accent areas on your house. So that's doodad.dev. Let's take a look at another one. It's called Pattern Monster. And Pattern Monster is really cool because they even have all these kind of predefined ones down here, but they even have holiday ones. In fact, they just added a bunch for Halloween. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these. This is their Halloween pattern too. And here we go. We can zoom in, make them bigger or smaller, just like we did before. You can kind of scroll left and right or up and down if you want to shift the pattern that way. You can also angle your little skull so there, kind of sideways or whatever you want to do. And down here we can adjust the colors. So if I want my skulls black, I do like the red for the eyes though, but let's do green on the bats here. So now we got it fixed up exactly like I want it. You can set the dimensions of the picture you're going to download right down here in the bottom, and you can save it as an SVG or a PNG file also here. So those are pattern generators, are really cool and really useful for making kind of these background patterns that you use sometimes in your videos. So that's pattern generators. Let's take a look at Clipart and graphics. And here is a website. It's called pngimg.com, and they just have really good transparent PNG images, and these are all free. So you can just search for whatever you might want. If you need a transparent PNG of a bagel or a croissant, hey, you're in good shape here. But they also just have tons of other images here. We'll go back to Halloween and see they got tons of pumpkins and graphics and logos, and there's just page after page of that sort of stuff to look through here. So a really good website. Also too, I love openclipart.org. And they specialize in those SVG files, but you can also download everything as a PNG. So if I come over here and type in pumpkin, but spell it correctly, and hit search or enter, here are all the different sorts of files that you can find. Let's say I like this guy right here. I'm going to click on him, and you can download him as an SVG or vector graphic image, but you can also just download him as a PNG, either small, medium, or large. By the way, I do recommend you typically download things in large as you can get, because you can almost always scale a large picture down. It'll still look great, but if you try and take a small picture and try and scale it up, it looks terrible. So best is just to get everything in large if you possibly can. So just a really great website, openclipart.org. Now here's a website that's photos only, but they have some good stuff in here. So this is stocksnap.io, and we'll come over here and I'll type in Halloween and hit enter. And now the ones on top here, these are kind of the commercial ones, right? It's basically an advertisement on the top. But if you scroll on down, here's all the different images that you can get that are kind of Halloween related here. And again, just some good background images, stuff like that. This is not my main go-to picture site, but I oftentimes will go here whenever I can't find what I'm looking for, maybe on the other sites. I find they have a little bit different variety here, so it's just kind of my backup site, basically. So let's take a look at some sites that have both photos and videos in them. And these are really my two main go-tos, quite frankly. And this is Pexels, pexels.com. And they just have tons of photos, and they also have videos. If you switch over here, you're in the video mode. If you come back over here, it defaults to the photo mode. So I'm going to type in Halloween here, and here are their Halloween pictures. Again, just tons and tons of photos. They have a lot of really cool ones here of witches and spooky forest and things like that. So just a really good selection. They also have really big previews, which I find really nice. And if we switch over here to videos, here are all their videos. They have a witch walking through a cornfield, and you get little animations here if you hover over them, which is really nice. Ouija board there. So just, again, a really good photo and video site. Pexels and the next one over here, Pixabay, are my two main go-tos. So let's take a look at Pixabay. You will find, by the way, some overlap between those two websites, but they both have really great items, including these kind of nice graphics over here in Pixabay. Again, kind of one of these repeating pattern sort of things, but just a really nice little background image, and just all sorts of different things. Here's some bats on a transparent background. You might even be able to do some simple animations, like maybe swapping between these two little guys, for example. Just tons of really good stuff. So that is Pixabay. Now let's take a look at some of the video websites. And the first one here is one you've probably never heard of. It's MitchMartinez.com. And Mitch Martinez is a director of photography for TV and movies. But under downloads, he has a bunch of stock footage. And some of this is really cool. He has Fireball videos, and by the way, these are almost all in 4K. There's a few that are in 2K, but they're all very high quality, very high resolution typically. We've got quite a few fire videos over here, which is really nice for kind of special effects. We also have a lot of nature stuff, including the moon with the clouds passing over it. Again, these are all movies that are animated. And we also have fireworks, great for 4th of July. We have particle effects. I believe these are computer generated, but again, really nice snow effects. We have the snow in front of like a blurred out background of some trees down here. Just tons of stuff that you could use in a holiday presentation. Smoke effects down here. Again, this is a really good resource for special effects. MitchMartinez.com. Now our next one over here is VidEasy. VidEasy is really pretty cool here. Let's go ahead and do a search for Halloween in VidEasy. And what I really like about VidEasy, besides these pro one up here, obviously, where you have to have a pro account to get these, but they have these wonderful little kind of animated graphics in here, which would be perfect to put behind your singing pumpkins or whatever you want to do. Just really nice stuff here for the holidays, and really kind of different things. Just a really, really good website. Now let's go over here to Vidvivo. I don't know how you pronounce that. It's videvo.net, vidvivo.net. Now, some of these are you have to pay for, right? So if they have like this little watermark on them, you have to pay for them. But if you come on down here, there are plenty that you don't have to pay anything for. You're doing a pirate theme. I can see this video fitting in really well for something like that. You know, we got smoke effects over here for free, and you just have to kind of explore around and find whatever you're looking for. Let's go ahead and search for Halloween here, and we've got a whole bunch of videos. Now, the ones for free obviously are free. The ones that have the little lightning bolt, these are all the premium ones, but they still have a ton of free videos. You know, including these rotating pumpkins is kind of cool. You know, some really scary stuff down here if you look for it. Just a really great website. Now let's talk about sound and music. The very first one here is my absolute go-to for sound effects, and that is freesound.org. You can come over here and you can type in whatever you want. You need a clank. Well, you can get a clank. You know, it's just that easy. They got screams, they got trains, they've got doors opening, anything you could possibly imagine, they pretty much have sound effects for, and everything here is free. Now, the next one on the list is probably something you may not be thinking of, but it's opengameart.org. And most of the graphics on here are geared for game developers. And so they're typically too small, too low resolution. They're like little character animation, stuff like that. Generally not too useful for projection mapping. However, it's also a great place for music and sound effects. And the way you find those, come over here to Browse, and you come down to Music. And you got a whole bunch of musics over here, and you can also go down here to Browse and Sound Effects and look for sound effects. Again, especially in fantasy stuff, they have things like you know, chains and swords hitting each other, all sorts of things like that. You know, here's like a wind sound effect. Just tons of stuff, and they also have like just ambient themes basically. So here's the cave theme. You can also search over here by title or keyword. You can also search by the license that it is. Just a super great website. Look at all the pages of stuff down here. Just tons of stuff. And that is opengameart.org. Now, the last website here for music is freepd.com. I have selected the horror button here, and this is just all free music and the stuff you just don't see everywhere else. There's not a ton of stuff on this site. It's kind of limited. And by the way, don't worry about these money amounts here to download them. That's to download the entire collection of MPEG-3s at one time or whatever. It's basically a donation for the website. You do not have to pay anything to download individual songs over here, and these have all sorts of different categories, and they're all, you know, pretty cool. So that's it for our music and sound section. Let's go ahead and talk about fonts. My go-to font place is dafont.com, and what I love about this is not only can you search for any particular thing over here, but they already have the holidays broken out for you. If you need a font for Valentine's to write I love you on your house, well, hey, right there you go. They also got Halloween. Look at all these Halloween fonts. And come down here at the bottom, look at all the pages of Halloween fonts. We also have tons of Christmas fonts. So just a really great website, all free fonts. So again, for making your signs and your, you know, the tune-in messages or whatever you need, you don't just want to throw it but in Arial, right? Whenever you have a spooky haunted house, you need a spooky haunted font. So, you know, just come over here to Halloween and choose one. So again, dafonts.com, the best font website I find. Now over here we're going to talk about special effects websites, and this one may really surprise you. I'm going to recommend Footage Crate. And you might say, well, hey, Footage Crate is one of those paid sites. And well, yeah, it is actually. However, about 10 or 20% of their stuff is actually free. And the way you find that It's come over here, and I'm going to select a category like sparks and burning. Let's go ahead and pick burning. Now, anything with a little gold star here is their premium stuff, so you have to have an account. It's about $10 a month roughly, or about $70 to $100 a year. Not outrageous, actually. So it's really actually good value. But if you scroll on down, and you just have to look for them, you get down here, and then pretty soon you find ones with no stars, like this blue flame over here, and that's totally free. So it's this ground fire here, and this slow build-up fire over there, and we got a few free ones over here also. You just have to look through it. Unfortunately, you just have to basically look for no stars and find the ones that are free, and you can download, I believe, up to 5 a day or something like that in the free account. So it's, again, a really good place to get high quality special effects sorts of videos for absolutely free. Now let's take a look at our last category here, and this is Tileable Textures. Now this website's kind of a crossover, because not only do they have tileable textures, and you might be asking yourself too, what is a tileable texture? Well, that's just an image that looks like a rock or some bricks or something like that. And the tileable part means is that you can stick 2 of these images together side by side, and maybe top and bottom, and they look like they all go together. The rocks don't suddenly don't match each other at the edge or whatever. They're actually designed to actually fit together, kind of like Lego blocks, in order to build up, like maybe a huge pattern of these rocks or bricks or whatever they are. That's exactly what you need to do to build your haunted, spooky style house, right, for your projection map. You want to apply like some old wood or some bricks or some, castle stones on there, and this is a great website for that. Those are all found under free images here, and we'll take a look at them. There is also a ton of free music over here in tons of different categories, including horror down here if you'd like, and also sci-fi and all sorts of different categories. But we're going to take a look at some of the patterns, and let's look at this stone tileable. Again, that tileable means that you can repeat these patterns over and over again, and they'll just all mesh together and look like one giant photo. Down here we have some rocks and images and stuff like that. This one has grass in it, so that would be good for a driveway, sidewalk sort of thing. This over here is more like just a little bits of, you probably pass it off as moss, quite frankly, if you wanted to make that your castle wall. So again, just tons of tileable images. All of these are free. I believe there's over 4,000 images on this website, something like that altogether. So it is really a great resource that really almost nobody knows about. Soundimage.org. Now let's go ahead and go to my next Tileable Textures website, and that is wildtextures.com. I really love this site because it has these really large pictures, and you kind of scroll up and down here and find the different patterns that you like. When when you want leather, you want fabric, you want metal. They have almost a little bit of almost everything. And you can come over here with the wood textures here. They even show it kind of used in many different ways, which is kind of cool, maybe to give you some ideas. Typically everything is really in high resolution, and it's all free to download. And so this is a really good website, wildtextures.com. And then finally, our last site here is tilingtextures.com. They're all free, and they're all tiling. Some of the other sites you have to look to see whether they're tiling or not, but these are all free and all tiling. There's not very many of them, I must say, but I do like how they're broken down. For instance, you go into architectural, you can pick your bricks, your concretes, ground, stone, tiles, wall, wood. And then they also have them broken down by color. So if you're looking for something that's darker, hey, I can pick a black or a brown or whatever and sort by that, basically. So that's really kind of handy. They even have some other categories down here, like the material type, the color property, was generally light or dark or monocolor, all these different ways everything's broken down. I really like the categories over here. I do wish they had more tileable textures, but it's a really nice website, and again, everything's tileable and everything's free, so how can you beat that? Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this tour, and again, all the links are in the description below. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.